Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you re into those real-sounding horror stories and mess with your mind just a little, then you're in the right place. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and stick around until the very end, because tonight's tale is one you won't want to miss. It's called The Eyes That Weren't Mine. Get ready, because it is about a man who started seeing the world through someone else's eyes and could not for the life of him make it stop. So this chilling story comes from a guy named Victor. He was a freelance photographer, lived alone in a small apartment, the kind of guy who spent his late nights hunched over a computer, editing photos until the early hours. One day, he was just scrolling through an online marketplace, looking for gear, when he stumbled upon an ad for an old film camera. The listing was pretty quirky. It said it once belonged to a crime scene photographer. It was scratched up, definitely old, but it was cheap, so Victor thought, why not? And bought it. When the camera finally arrived, Victor noticed something pretty cool. It had a roll of undeveloped film still inside. Being a photographer, he thought, this is awesome, and decided to develop it himself. He set up his dark room, went through the whole process carefully, anticipating some cool vintage shots. But when the images started to appear, he realized immediately that these weren't just normal pictures. Every single photo showed the same thing, a disturbing close-up of someone's eyes. Different people, different expressions. Some wide open, some half closed, but every single pair looking straight into the lens. Then came the last photo. It looked familiar. They were his eyes. He brushed it off at first, thinking it was just a strange coincidence. Maybe someone else just had similar features, right? But later that very night, while brushing his teeth, he looked in the mirror and froze. His reflection blinked, but he hadn't. That sent a real shiver down his spine. The next morning, everything looked slightly off. The colors were too bright, shadows were too deep. He said the world looked sharper than usual, but not in a good way. More like someone had cranked up the contrast on everything. And when he passed people on the street, they all seemed to be staring directly at him, as if they knew something he didn't. Then came the headaches. They started mild, just a dull throb, but then they grew worse, pounding behind his eyes. Sometimes he'd black out for a few seconds and wake up somewhere else entirely, still holding his camera, but with no memory of taking any photos. When he checked the memory card, there were dozens of new pictures he hadn't taken, and guess what they were? All of people's eyes again, except one set looked absolutely terrified. And in the reflection of their pupils, he could clearly see himself holding the camera. That night, he desperately tried to destroy the camera. He took it apart piece by piece, but when he removed the lens, he saw something move inside it. Not us, something alive. It pulsed once, like a heartbeat. Terrified, he threw the camera in the trash, took it outside, and made sure it was gone. But the next morning, there it was, sitting perfectly clean back on his table. He tried again, threw it away, drove it across town, left it somewhere else entirely. Every single time it reappeared, same spot, same faint, unsettling smell of burnt film. Then his own eyes started to change. He said sometimes when he looked in the mirror, one pupil would dilate faster than the other, even in the same light. Eventually, the color started shifting from his natural brown to a pale, unsettling gray, just like the eyes in those photos. And when he blinked for just a second, he'd see flashes through someone else's vision. Dark rooms, cold faces, the chilling click of a shutter. He stopped sleeping, stopped going outside. He said he could feel someone else looking through him now, using his very own sight. One night, he texted me a photo. It was a picture of me sitting on my couch, totally unaware, taken from outside my window. But here's the thing, Victor hadn't left his apartment in days. I went to check on him the next morning, my heart pounding. His door was locked from the inside. When the police finally got in, Victor was gone. The only thing left was the camera on the table, lens open, pointed straight at the door. When they developed the last few shots from the camera, the final image showed an empty room, and then a terrifying close-up of two gray eyes, wide open, staring into the lens. The strange part, forensic analysis said the eyes didn't match Victor's. They didn't match anyone. So if you ever find an old camera with film still inside, please, for your own sake, do not develop them. Some pictures truly aren't meant to be seen. And if you feel like someone's watching you right now, maybe they're seeing through your eyes. If this story gave you the chills, hit that like button and leave a comment below saying, I saw them too. And don't forget, some things look right back at you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.